Hi guys, I'm showing you this morning my hydroponic, one of my hydroponic setups. And I'm showing it to you for a reason. That big plant back there is pineapple mint, which I'm going to cut down and dehydrate so it'll be smaller. But I had it growing in the front of my hydroponics, and what happened was all my other little plants like this one in the front wasn't getting enough light because of this big plant. What I ended up doing was moving it. So don't be afraid to move them and change them around according to the lighting that they need, right? So yeah, when I cut that back, I won't have to worry, but I moved it to the back so that it wouldn't affect my plants coming up in the front, right? I also have another hydroponic system here where the lettuce was, let's see, the two corners are lettuce, right? That's lettuce right there, and that's lettuce right there. They were blocking the other little ones coming up because they came up a lot faster than the other plants. So again, I moved them where I could get light in for my other plants. Don't be afraid to move them. Pretty soon the lettuce I'll be cutting back and making a salad, so therefore it won't affect the other plants, right? So yeah, it's going to be cut and come again. So I'll be cutting it, letting it grow, and cutting it again each time I need. I have 3 hydroponic setups, right? This is the third one, the third hydroponic setup. If you see that big plant in the front, that is lettuce. That is purple romaine lettuce. And I've been eating off of that for the last 3 weeks, right? That and some other lettuce I was growing. So, yeah. I have strawberries on top. I don't know if you can see them. They're blooming. The strawberries will be going soon. But my hydroponic tower, a lot of them I have to fill up. But according to what I'm growing, look at this lettuce, how much space it takes up, right? But like I said, don't be afraid that if you plant something near it, you can move it. Also, you can take like this big thing of lettuce. I could take that and put it out in the garden at any time. So I'm out in my garden. This plant right here is a cherry tomato plant that I had growing in my hydroponics. It got so big that I was like, I'm not going to cut this back anymore, because I was cutting it back. I cut off the top so it didn't get tall, so it got bushy and started going long way with the, start going out. So because it got so big, I decided just to go ahead and plant it in dirt. And that is an option. I took it out of my hydroponic. It got so huge that I was like, okay, we're gonna put you in dirt and keep you going, right? I have so many tomato plants, it's not funny. This right here is another tomato plant that I had growing in my hydroponic, right? This one needs a stick to stable it, but that's fine. We'll get a stick on that one. But this one, yeah, this was also in my hydroponic, and I took that out too. I was like, since I'm clearing out plants that I feel that I don't want to maintain, and tomato plants really get wild, I said, let me go ahead and remove the tomato plants from my hydroponics, right? So I have another tomato plant that I just removed from my hydroponic, this one. Now, one of these, either this one that you see here or this one, was from a promulgation. What I did was I took a cutting from one of those big tomato plants and I put it in my hydroponic to bear root, and yeah, it took off, and yeah, I planted it in dirt now. I say that to say, if you are promulgating plants because you want more of a certain plant and you have a hydroponic system, don't be afraid to take that cutting and put it in your hydroponic, because it will grow faster and then you can transplant it. It will grow faster than just putting it in a cup of water, because the water in the hydroponics have a pump that, has the water moving, and for some reason it just takes off, right? So yeah, don't be afraid to put those propagate. If you're propagating a plant, you have a plant, you want more of it, and you take a cutting and you want that cutting to grow. Don't be afraid, if you have a hydroponic, to put it in that hydroponic desktop setup or tower, whichever one you have. Also, if you don't have a balcony, you live in an apartment, you don't have space for a garden, hydroponic desktop is the perfect thing, because it comes with a grow light. You have different options. You can start off with 8 pods, you can start off with 10 pods, you could start off with 12 pods, because I started off with 12. Then I went ahead and bought a 20 pod and a 30 pod. I bought the 30 pod tower, and I bought the 20 pod desktop. And to tell you the truth, out of all 3 of them, I love the desktop the best, because to me it's easy. You can see everything right in front of you. With the tower, you have to turn it to see the back, or you have to put it in the middle of somewhere where you can walk around to see all sides of the tower. The desktop, you just glance over, you see all the plants, and you can, like I said, if a plant is getting out of hand, which they do, they grow really big in that tower or desktop, you can go ahead and always move it to your garden and put it in dirt. It will still take off. I don't know if you remember the cherry tree that I had bought that was a bare root cherry tree. Well, there it is right there with a lot of leaves on it. And as you see those little bottles in my garden, those to help keep the plants hydrated. Those are self-watering bottles. You can get those on Amazon. I believe I have the link in my description for those. All it is a water bottle you use, and then you take the nozzles that they send you and you screw it onto the water bottle. It has like a little thing that you turn on to have it slow drip into the soil. And if you live in an area like I do, which is 10B to 11, right, which is very hot, South Florida is very hot, and you don't want your plants to dry up, then, or if it's summertime, and because my sister's in New York and it gets really hot in New York. It gets hotter in New York than it does here in South Florida in the summer, and that I know because I grew up there. So yeah, if that's the case, you definitely need those little water things, some kind of self-watering thing to keep your plants hydrated. I find those self-drip things keep the soil moist enough for the plant, and yeah, if it does dry out, I could just water it then and fill up the bottle, right? So I say that to say thank you for joining me, and don't forget, you can promulgate into your hydroponic desktop. You could also move the plants into a regular pot and grow like a little garden. It's faster starting the seedlings in the hydroponics. They start off quicker, right? And if you have seeds that are hard to start, because that pineapple mint that I showed you that took off, I couldn't get it to start in the dirt. What I had to do was start it in my hydroponic. I took half of it, put in the dirt, and then the other half I have, as you see, in my hydroponic, which I'm about to dehydrate to put to my tea station. Yeah, so that way I have pineapple mint tea, right? And I have strawberry mint that is starting to grow also. So, you know, if you have seeds that are hard to grow, you can try it in your hydroponics, and yeah, if the seeds are good, they will take off in the hydroponic. All right, so have a great day and join me again. Thank you.